me see if I'm on y'all's internet. Can't tell. Fuck. I am on the internet. Hold on. Yes, this internet is fucking awesome. It really fucking is. Like, he's got good internet over this bitch. Let me see what kind of... Party! Yeah! Dreams? Kind of dreamy? Ooh, it's trippy. Whoa! Does it look trippy, you guys? Oh my god, it looks so cool. I'm gonna do normal. I liked it. I don't really like the beam. From Waikiki. I lined them. Do they look like shit?
They're just like
too dark?
They're prominent, like you don't have any other makeup on. She's like, hey, I got eyebrows.
Oh, she's making fun of my brows, y'all. Brows. But hold on, I'm trying to get rid of this thing. Like, I have it. Hold on. There's Tonda. I'm trying to make this thing go away and it won't go away. What the fuck? There it goes. Okay, got it. Yes, this is really good internet here. Like his upload speed is like really good. Like I could probably upload a video in like 20 seconds over here. But hello from Waikiki, I mean from Natchez, Mississippi to Waikiki, Hawaii. How's y'all's nuclear threats going over there? Like, hopefully nobody nukes y'all or nothing.
Hey, say that about us too?
I know, right? Like, hopefully we don't get fucking... Oh, I got something for you, Tonda. This shit's expensive as fuck. Like, look at this shit. Ad friendly for fucking YouTube. I got it for free from Influencer. Here you go. We are chillaxing. So, you guys haven't got any nukes going off yet over there from the North Koreans? So I looked over all of Heather Tucci's documents that she filed with the court and stuff, and I mean, she filed a motion for dismissal, okay, which is normal. Like, I would have filed a motion for dismissal for my shit too, you know, and the illegal ass court systems we have here. So she filed a motion for dismissal, and of course we have 5 military bases in Ojai. I can't even say that. Like, I'm horrible at trying to pronounce, like, it's O-U-H-A. It's in Hawaii. Oh, how do you pronounce it? Like, spell it how you pronounce it. Owie? I can't fucking say it, dude. I feel bad because, like, I wish I could say it. Dude, Willow, what do you think about all the galactic love and light shit that they talk about?
No love.
Okay. Look, this is how I feel about it. I feel like consciousness inside of our fucking mind and our human existence is so fucking complicated that, like, I get the whole vibrational thing that they're talking about. Like, for example, say you're having a really shitty day and you go to the store and you just get a pack of cigarettes and some girl is like, hey boy, you look good. That's like vibrations coming off of this girl that like boosts your ego and makes you feel good. You know what I mean? So I get the whole vibrational like word thing. Like, I get that. It's the same thing with like the internet world too. Like, people can make you feel like shit with the vibrations that they're passing through to you through the internet. Or people can make you feel really good with the vibrations that they're passing through to you through the internet. And so I get what she's saying about that. So she was talking about being in the courtroom and she was speaking like her vibrations to the courtroom, and she could feel the vibrational vibes, like the vibes from the people that are in there. And I get what she's saying because I work in a bar like she herself is, or yada yada. You heard the phone talks. Yeah, I heard the conversation with her and BZ. Which part of it are you like trying to find a lighter?
Had my lighter.
I got it. Hold on, I'm gonna turn this TV down just a little bit. Okay. But like, hold on, let me see. I get what you're saying, yeah. Yeah, like, oh shit. Hold on. Heather and Beane court hearing January. If this movement is real, which I think it is, we will know in January. Yeah, I mean, it's so complicated, like, because nobody ever really knows what really could happen, because anything could happen, you know what I mean? Like, I could walk out this door right now and get hit by a fucking meteor and die. You know, anything, I could get run over by an 18-wheeler. Anything could fucking happen. So, it's like, the simple fact that we've even thought about this shit, like, it's now been brought into existence. So, this is what I get from it, okay? In the court system, the way it's been for a while in the United States, because the court systems here are it's like a banking industry. It's fucking illegal as fuck. They're not running constitutional law anymore. They're running their own fucking laws. And you might give up. Wait, hold on. And why is Randy ass still locked up? Where are her superpowers for him? Did Mike give up on him? LOL. No, Mike didn't give up on him. Mike has still been in conversation with, like, Randy's cousins and stuff. I don't know what's going on with Mike. I haven't really talked to him in a little while. But, okay, let me get my marbles together. How can I explain this in, like, layman's terms? It's really, really hard to try to explain, like, okay, the court system, the way it's been ran for so long in the illegal fashion that it is, because it's completely unconstitutional, and every single court system basically has their own rules and regulations depending on where you're at in the world. And, you know, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. But it's really hard to, like, I really think it's gonna be hard as fuck for this shit to really happen. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be fucking great, and I'm really hoping that it really fucking happens. Like, we all get access to these TDA accounts, or they get exposed. But the system is so greedy, and these elite motherfuckers are so greedy that they would make us go back to zero before they ever gave us anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I feel that they would do. They would make us suffer before they ever gave us shit. Bitcoin, okay, Bitcoin is just, okay, let me put it like this, okay? Bitcoin is the same exact monetary system that we're dealing with now. It's the same thing, except it's electronic. It's the same thing repeating itself. So, and that's really what the system wants. I mean, all for it. Like, if somebody wants to buy Bitcoin, buy that shit. Buy it. But, it's really the same exact system that we're living in now. It's just electronic currency, which I honestly think that the system wants to move towards electronic currency universally for everyone in the whole fucking world. Which is kind of dangerous, because if anything was to happen to our electronic systems and our internet, and like, let's just say some crazy shit was to go down and all of our internet access was to be just completely destroyed and gone and dismantled or whatever, all of our currency would be gone, you know. But it's the same thing though. Bitcoin is the same thing. It's our money. They have been trading our bonds since birth. Right. I mean, you're right, Alan. You're right, Alan. It's just, I want to move back to Maryland so I can organize a protest, because I would love to take like 30 to 40,000 people or more down in front of the fucking Federal Reserve systems, like in Philadelphia or even New York City, like, and just fucking protest the fuck out of these motherfuckers in the front of their fucking building for days and days and days and days. And I would love to go to Yellen, the fucking bitch that's like supposedly over the Federal Reserve. I would love to go to that bitch's house and just knock on the door and be like, what the fuck is going on? You know? So, it's just, okay, with Heather Tucci's court case, I don't know what's going to happen because I can't read the future, but I have a feeling like that it's not going to be as magical as everybody says it is. I want it to be, like everybody wants it to be, and I'm hoping it's going to be, but I just feel like it's not going to be as easy as people think it is. It's a lot of bullshit behind it. Like, she's been talking about the Bank of International Settlements. Like, those are some crazy motherfuckers to have to deal with. Untethered access. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's so hard to even comprehend, because like I read all of the documents and stuff. Like I read the motion for dismissal, and then I read where the court denied the motion, or they were suggesting to deny the motion, and then I read the precipice, and I read all of it, and it's so complicated. Like, I literally need a law book to go back and read all this stuff too, because it's so complicated. It really is. Like, I don't even get a lot of it. I tried, you know, I was trying my best. Like, I'd be like reading something, I'd be like, what does this mean? Then I'd have to go like Google what this word means, you know, like, yeah, I mean, there's so many people that were doing the same thing. They would read it and then they'd be like, what the hell does this mean? And then they have to go Google what the fuck that means. And then, you know, it's some complicated shit. And I don't know. I mean, I saw that Heather Tucci shared, she shared like a video with her judge, the judge that's supposed to be over her case. And after I read like the documents from where another judge just like handed the paperwork off to him, like he didn't want anything to do with it or whatever. And I don't know how I know how the documents coincide with Randy, because Randy's the one that accessed his TDA account, and Heather supposedly is being charged with conspiracy to launder money. So I guess if they can prove that Randy has access to these accounts, then the conspiracy to launder money charge would just be lifted. Now, I know that she's like given her factualized trust and given her UCC documents that she filed and given all this stuff to where she like foreclosed on the banking industry and all that. But the system is so fucking big. It's like, it's going to take a fucking miracle to have a judge be like, yeah, this is right, and just take all that into consideration. You know what I'm saying? It's really going to take a fucking miracle for that. I mean, I wish I lived in Maryland, because I would totally go to Tennessee, drive to Tennessee to go to the fucking court hearing. I'm just too fucking far away. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Honestly, like, I want your honest fucking opinions. Alan, what do you think? I mean, did you read the documents? What did you get from it? The whole system is controlled by the bank. Exactly. The whole system is controlled by the bank. The courts and everything. Well, her site says all is perfectly done. I mean, yeah, like her documents, that's what they're saying. Like, all of her documents are perfectly done. But it's getting the system to acknowledge that. That's the issue.
What is this?
Trash. You know, like, that's the fucking issue, is getting the courts and the system to acknowledge that all is perfectly done. And convincing all of these fucking people that they've been fucked with. What is that in my hair? Stickers! It's a C. Hold on. And this one is a U. If the case moves past jurisdiction issue, then we will all win. Right? I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, if they can't prove, okay, this is how it works, because you got Heather Ann Tucci with lowercase letters, and you got Heather Ann Tucci, the corporate fiction. And, Heather said herself that she's been doing this for like 20-something years, and she's dealt with the court system like this for 20-something years, and they've all run the same. So she's never had a court case that ran like it's supposed to. She said this herself. She said this herself in that phone conversation. She's been doing this for 20-something years, and the court cases that she's been dealt with like this have all been the same for all these years. So, that's why I said it's going to take a fucking miracle for this case to run differently. You know what I mean? So, it's a lot. It's a lot of crazy shit. It really is. You got, okay, if you go back and you look, like, through law and, all the way the fuck back, I'm worried that most Americans rebels in a revolution. We need a revolution, honestly. Like, we need a revolution of people that are going to put their fucking foots down and say, enough is enough, and we're tired of being your slaves. Because, okay, we're slaves, you know what I mean? Like, right, people don't even know that they're slaves. Like, okay, the states used to be responsible for paying the government's debt. Okay, like, when the government's like, hey, we need $20 billion for the space program. Yeah, we need to end the Fed. Like, we really do. Like, it's bullshit the way that they treat us. And the Fed is a lot bigger than we think. Like, the Fed is the central banking system, and it's not only in the United States. The Fed is in every country in the entire world except for 3. North Korea, Iran, Iran and Cuba. Those are the only 3 countries we have left that don't have a central banking system. And North Korea and Cuba, they actually are kind of like allies with each other. They help each other out, and North Korea is also a little bit of an ally with Iran. They kind of deal with each other, but other than that, they do a little bit of trading with China, but for the most part, nobody else will fuck with them. They don't have a central banking system. And it's funny that one of the countries that we're trying to start a war with doesn't have a central banking system. It's like we're fighting the devil. It's weird. It really is. Hey, Christy. So, it's like this, okay? When the Fed was started, the money was still backed by gold, and the states were responsible for paying the government's debt. The states succeeded from that and said, fuck you, we're not paying your fucking debt anymore. So the United States of America was put in bankruptcy mode. And that's when the executive order of 1933 by President Roosevelt came out, and they forced all the citizens to bring all their gold certificates, anything that had to do with gold, to the Federal Reserve or the nearest bank that was associated with the Federal Reserve. And if they didn't, then they were possibly going to be criminally charged and put in prison. And that's theft, because they made all the citizens turn their gold in, and what they got was Federal Reserve notes that didn't have any backing to them. So the Federal Reserve stole all these people's gold and then paid them with meaningless pieces of paper that had no backing. The paper was just as valuable as this cardboard box, these BC powders. The paper, it was just as valuable. Like the dollar bill is this. It's fucking paper. That's me trying to explain Hollow Earth to somebody earlier. It's just as valuable as this little tiny fucking piece of paper. It has no meaning to it at all. It has a bunch of Masonic fucking pictures on it, a bunch of hidden symbolism. It's just fucking paper. It doesn't have any value. So they took all these people's value and gave them nothing. Gave them notebook paper. And then they came out with the states, that was when the states decided that they didn't want to pay the government's debt anymore. So then they put in the system to where they were making it responsible for the citizens to pay the government's debt. So that's where slavery was implemented on us after the 1933 executive order. So land taxes, and then the birth certificate was a force to where anybody born by the states had to be issued a birth certificate, and all of that kind of shit, because your birth certificate's bond, and you are like, how do I explain it? It's like, okay, the United States is a corporation. When you have that bank bond, you're basically a part, it's like you own a share to this country. So, but the country's in bankruptcy mode. So really, we don't own any money because the country's in bankruptcy. The country's continuing to take our, where the hell you keep all that info underneath? In here. I mean, am I making sense to you guys? Am I making sense? I got a lot of fucking hair too, you guys. Like, it's super fucking long. Like, all the way down there. Right, yeah, once you got your birth certificate and all that, then we would have income taxes. Then that's where some people got money back at the end of the year, and then some people had to pay that shit back. But 30%? Is that what you read? Tonda read that each birth certificate is worth 30% of whatever a person makes in their lifetime. So, since the states weren't responsible for paying the fucking debt no more, the states said, fuck you to the government, we're not paying your shit no more. The states fucking stole all the people's gold, gave them a bunch of meaningless fucking notebook paper with pictures of presidents on it, and then used us as collateral to pay the government's debt, which is slavery. So, but they couldn't technically make us slaves because that would be illegal. So then they made the HJR 192 fucking order that was repealed later. Since that order was repealed, that was like a remedy for people where the government would pay debts and help people out and all this, but people really didn't know about it. Well, they repealed that 100% in 1994. And it was replaced with something else, supposedly, I read, but I don't know. I haven't been able to find the replacement. And Tonda says it's not illegal not to file your taxes, but it's illegal to file wrong. I'm just rambling. Okay, Tricky. It's so much information. It's like so fucking hard. Like, I need one of those big ass fucking like marker boards where I can like be like, here's the White House, here's a little stick figure person, and then they're walking to work, and then, you know what I mean? Yeah, I went to the GMEI website. It's kind of crazy, like, when I put in my number. Like that movie 23. Oh, yeah, with, what's his name? You're right, it's very confusing on purpose. I mean, like, if you go back and you watch my video where I did a video on the 1933 executive order, Christy, she's like, fuck you. It's so much, dude. Like, it's so much. It's so much. Like, okay, you got the 1933 executive order. That's when they made us slaves 100%. Like, they had to, basically. The government, they didn't have to. They didn't have to, but they thought they had to get someone to pay their debt. You see what I'm saying? Because the state didn't want to pay the debt anymore. So since the state's not paying the United States government debt anymore, they're making the people pay the debt. But what's fucked up is that we don't get to say where the money goes and comes from. We don't get to vote on that. So we just have to pay it back. So if the federal government's like, okay, we need $20 billion for the fucking for CERN. We need to build fucking CERN. They're gonna get the Federal Reserve to print the shit. They're gonna make the people fucking pay it back. But we don't get to vote on whether or not they get that money or not. Or if the state's like, okay, we need $6 million for our police to militarize them. We don't get to vote on that. We just have to pay for it. Yeah. Right. We don't get, that's where it's fucked up. That's where it's slavery, because they're making us responsible for things that we don't get to choose whether or not they get the money for that or this or that, or where the money goes or where the money comes from. And that's where it's not fair. Like, I do understand to an extent that we, you know, certain fundings, we could say, okay, for our military, for secret military shit, you could give them $3 million, and that we don't have to know what they do with that $3 million. But if they need any more than that $3 million or billion, then we have to vote on whether or not they get it. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's understandable, but like, there's other things, and isn't that what income tax is for? Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. The income tax pays for those debts, and that's not fair, though. That's not fair. That's not only that, our sales tax and our land taxes pay for military, roads, and police officers and stuff like that. But that's still not fair. Like, okay, this past year when I went to, I'm actually a voters commissioner. I went and I took the test to become a voters commissioner because I wanted to see what the process was like during the voting process for president. And since this presidency was like so crazy, like all the shit that happened, I wanted to go and see what it was like. So I took my voters commissioner test. I became a voters commissioner. I worked the polls for the federal election, and I printed out the printouts, because the machines, you print a printout out when you plug them up to make sure it's all zeroed out, which it was all zeroed out. There's no internet. There's definitely not any fucking internet where we were at, but they don't even need Wi-Fi. Like, they could still use satellites and shit to tap into fucking internet. How they fucking keep our phones, you know, knowing the time. Even if we don't have service on our fucking phones still know what time it is, because it's all through satellite. So, but still, I don't know if that was hooked up to it or not. But I do know that I counted how many people came in there and voted, and I counted how many votes were made on the machines whenever we left, which was correct. Because it'll show you, like, this many people vote for Trump, this many people vote for the independent party, this many people vote for Hillary, this many people vote, because there's like a couple different candidates you can vote for, and it prints that out and shows you. And then I knew exactly how many people we had vote that day, and I could add up all the machines, and I knew exactly how many votes were made. So I know that our machines weren't fucking fucked with, but the commissioner in charge takes all the documents to the courthouse, and then from the courthouse they have to take those documents to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Okay, trying to find the telecheck number I've given out 100 times. The number I used, I got a human right away. I have 10 more verified accounts to update with them. Holy shit. But yeah, so the weird part about it that I thought was weird is that I live in Concordia Parish, Louisiana. When the voting polls closed, the commissioner in charge took all the paper papers to the local courthouse. It takes us about 3 hours to get to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or an hour and a half to 2 hours from where we're at. My poll, my district, like where I was voting at, by the time I made it home, which wasn't even 2 miles down the road, they already decided whether or not Trump or Hillary won for our state. It hadn't even been long enough for them to take the documents to the location that they needed to take the documents to count the votes. So that's where I thought it was really fucking odd that our district voting polls just closed. It hadn't even been 15 minutes since I left the polls, and they already knew whether or not, they already declared Trump the winner for Louisiana. So, but that's where I saw that it wasn't a fair like that part was not fair, because there wasn't even enough time for them to take our documents to the location that they needed to go to count those votes in. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's when I kind of knew like something wasn't fucking right with the system with that. So Rapides Parish, cool. If you ever come to Concordia Parish, come visit. I went to the balloon races last night, but it was fucking raining, so we had to leave. I mean, with Randy, I am confused about why he's still in jail. Because, okay, he was supposedly released on house arrest, right? And he just had to find a place to go. But what I don't understand is he was released on house arrest as long as he had a place to go, which they did apparently find him a place to go. But then before he's about to leave, they're like, oh no, we can't release you because you have warrants out for your arrest for traffic violations in North Carolina. That's bullshit. Because I have felony warrants out for my arrest in Northern Virginia, and they wouldn't even come get me from fucking Maryland. Okay? They would not even go to Maryland less than 500 miles away to come get me. So I know goddamn well North Carolina isn't going to come get him from Tennessee on some fucking traffic violations. Yeah, they are. I don't understand that. Does anybody know how long Randy and Heather have known each other? Oh, I know the North Carolina jail system is jacked. Like, they didn't even, there's a whole fucking, like, a system that, a rule that they put in to where after 72 hours, if a state doesn't come get the person, then you're released. But North Carolina is one of 2 states that didn't sign that order, so you can literally sit in jail for a fucking year and wait for North Carolina to come get you. If they don't come get you. It's fucked up. But yeah, I don't understand why he's still in there. Because they should have released him by now. That doesn't make any fucking sense. And since it's North Carolina, he can stay in there for a year. Like, even if this case gets closed, whatever, like, the way the law works, because North Carolina didn't sign those documents or sign that shit into law, he could stay in there for 12 months before a judge will decide whether or not he's going to be released. They were both in jail formerly. That's how they met each other? Because I've been trying to figure out, okay. I've been trying to figure out how they know each other. How does Randy and Heather know each other? Like, when did they meet? Like, yeah, he should have a bond. Like, does anybody know how much his bond is? Has anybody, I mean, somebody could probably call the courthouse and find out. Sovereign citizen movement, yeah. They don't like sovereign citizens. They think we're all fucking assholes or whatever. I don't even say sovereign citizen. I just say, like, I'm just a fucking human being. Like, that's it. You know? And my human existence is far more complex than your fucking book with your words in it and your bullshit ass rules and regulations that you think you're gonna fucking imprison on me. If I remember correctly, it was really high. Right. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing, is like, we have these people, a really high bond. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'll have to call and find out. But we have these fucking people, right? Like, we have these cops and these lawyers and these fucking voted in motherfuckers, and they think they have some power over my existence, like they're God or something. You see what I'm saying? Like, we're in the transcripts. They moved to dismiss because it was yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's my whole argument is like, who the fuck are these people to decide what the fuck I do with my life and what the fuck I do with my money and what the fuck I do, where I go, how I live? Like, they didn't fucking put me here on this planet. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Christine. See, I think the whole entire thing, I think the whole shebang that went down, like, they wanted Heather. Because they've wanted people from OPPT for a while. Like, the feds don't fucking like OPPT. So I think that they wanted Heather from the get-go. But they got Randy. And they just charged Heather. No, I'm with my friend right now. She's cleaning. She's probably ready to go. She's turning the fucking lights off. She's over there.
I'm good.
But yeah, I think they wanted Heather, but they couldn't get her. They got Randy instead, and then and Parker H. Steele just pulled some bullshit charge out of his fucking asshole.
I found the one where you look behind you.
Oh.
You should have showed them all. You should have showed them everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to walk around here, but before I leave. But does he ever catch any hell from that flag right there? No. But yeah, so they got Randy, and then Parker H. Steele pulled some shit out of his fucking asshole and rolled it up in a burrito and was like, here you go, this is what we're gonna do to Heather. Because if you read those fucking grand jury, like the whole grand jury paperwork, like, it's so amateur, like, it's so bullshit. I was like, dude, I'm not even a fucking lawyer, and I feel like I could have done a better job than that. Like, it's fucking horrible. It's fucking horrible. Like, they just don't know what the fuck they're talking about in there. I mean, they don't even have, like, the juror's number. Like, usually they would have, like, juror number 1, blah, 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 whatever they say. Juror number 2, blah, 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 whatever the fuck they say. They don't even have that. Like, they just have, like, juror, 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 juror. And then they even have, like, they told on themselves. Like, at the very end, the state's attorney was like, usually it takes weeks to, you know, take care of a case like this. And blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, you stupid bitch. It does take weeks. Like, how did y'all get subpoenas? And how did y'all get warrants? And how did y'all get all the witnesses and all the shit you needed to even charge these people with the shit you're charging them with? And then his bank shit, like, okay, like, they had all of Randy's banking information, like his deposits, his withdrawals, his deposits, withdrawals, all that shit. It was $10,000 off. Like, before he even accessed his TDA account, like, he should have had, like, $10,000 more, and it was not there. And the jury was like, where's that money at? And they made him take a recess so Parker H. Steele could go get his documents, because clearly he was unorganized and unprepared for a grand jury fucking hearing to try to put some charges, some pretty fucked up charges on somebody, and he didn't even have his fucking paperwork together. And he sounds like I don't know if he stutters or if he just doesn't know how to talk or what, but if you read, like, word for word of what he's saying, it's so hard to fucking make sense of any of it. You're like, and then I try to put myself in his mindset, and I feel like he's some, like, fucking backwoods ass, like, person that's, like, lived in a cave his whole fucking life that just has no fucking clue what the hell is going on in the fucking planet. Like, at least that's what I got. Like, and the vibe that I felt from just reading it, like, I just felt like he just had no clue what the fuck he was doing, and he was not prepared for that fucking indictment hearing. So, I don't know if any of you guys have read it, but I read it, like, 5 times, probably more than that, and it was a fucking joke. It was a joke. I can't even believe I didn't find anything on that motherfucker. And if it does, then... Yeah, I mean, I would say so. Totally. Fuck yeah. I hope it gets dismissed. I really fucking does. I really hope it does. Beer? You need a beer?
My belt.
I mean, if it does get dismissed, I think everybody should fucking go get checks and just go cash like $1 million fucking checks. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what are they gonna do? You know? Or bonds. Electronically buy fucking bonds. Same exact fucking way.
Well, whether you get the treasury direct or not, you still need to claim your birth certificate and yourself, so you're not a slave. You're not income tax. You don't have to live by all the rules.
I read where you have to file and take ownership as an adult. My friend just said the same fucking thing. She just said the same thing. That you have to fucking take like ownership of your birth certificate.
No road tax, no license plates, no, you don't agree to none of that. You're indebted to nobody but yourself.
Yeah, I did. I heard her say that. Yeah. It's because it's all a fucking game, dude. Like, I bet you his name is Parker H. Steele right now, and then like a month from now it'll be like John Martin Smith. You know what I mean? Like, they could easily just change his whole fucking identity.
Probably alias to begin with.
Yeah. He's probably a shape-shifting reptilian. For fucking sake. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding.
But for the sake of safety.
Seriously, like, he probably is. I mean, some people are, like, when she's talking about, like, the energy vibe stuff, like, I get it. Like, I get what she's saying. Like, I try to explain it to people, like, I've worked in a bar long enough to where I can feel when there's gonna be a fight at the end of the night. Like, really? Like, you can feel vibrations, vibes. So, I can feel, like, when someone's gonna fight in a bar before, like, there could be nobody in the fucking bar, right? And when I go to work, I fucking know if there's gonna be a fight before the end of the night or not. I can just feel it. That's what she's talking about when she's like, I'm sending my verbal vibrations or whatever. Like, it's the same like if you go to a store and somebody's like, oh, you look really pretty, like, and then it makes you feel good. They just sent you like some positive vibrations, you know.
I pulled the gun right here.
You got a gun right there?
And I took the safety off.
What kind is it? Is it loaded?
Boy, hell no.
What is it?
Well,
Oh shit. Fuck yeah. That's a 45, right?
yep.
That's my shit. I like 45s. He shouldn't keep it loaded though. It's gonna fuck the spring up in it.
It's gonna what?
There's a spring in there that you... Has it got a clip?
It's loaded. Safety's on it. They loaded for 20 years.
Okay.
I just got in the chamber ready.
Well, I know somebody that left their gun loaded for like 3 years and it fucked the
Well,
spring.
that's
And
cocked. It was cocked.
Oh.
That's locked and loaded.
We're in the South. Everybody's got a gun.
Hey,
Everybody.
everybody got a gun, a shotgun, a revolver, and an automatic.
She said everybody's got a gun, a shotgun, a revolver, and an automatic. Vibrations and frequency, singularity are all real. Yeah. It's all really fucking weird shit too. I mean, it's like you're by yourself in your bedroom and you're just there mentally with yourself. It's like, does anything else in the world really exist, or does it only exist when you see it? Or if a tree falls in the fucking woods and there's nobody around to hear it, does it make a fucking sound?
I've been absent and bad shit happened and I paid for it. So yeah, I didn't see it coming. Huh? I didn't see it coming.
The bank controls the bonds as a minor. Then you have to take control through the legal process as an adult, or the bonds remain in a I can't even say that word, quasi state of limbo, and they can open new bonds on you. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, I've read about that,
Fuck
Keith.
the money, I just want my freedom.
Yeah, Tonda said fuck the money, she just wants her fucking freedom. She's tired of being a fucking slave. I get it too. I'm tired of being a fucking slave too. Fuck those motherfuckers. I don't even know what to do. I am trying to move back to Maryland, you guys, though. Like, I'm trying to get my YouTube channel back up so then I can fucking move. Like, I can't. I quit my job, too, you guys. Like, I quit my job yesterday. I'm having a rough time. Fucking world is fucked up right now.
Oh my.
I've been working for that place for like 8 years, and I just had enough. I was like, fuck you guys, I'm done. Can't take this shit anymore.
I gotta study the difference between taking chemo and not taking chemo. You die faster. I think chemo killed you.
I think if you smoke pot, you might be better off.
Yeah, I think chemo.
Where do you want to move in Maryland? Southern Maryland. Money will be useless one day. Oh yeah, definitely. It'll be like that video game Fallout where we're all using Coke bottle tops to pay for shit. But yeah, I quit my fucking job. Like, I've been working for there for 8 years, and I covered shifts for this girl. Like, there's another girl that works there, and I've covered 6 shifts for her in the past 2.5 weeks, like 3 weeks. And I was like, hey, I covered Friday night for her, and I was like, hey, Saturday night, can you watch the bar for like 2 hours so I can take my kid and my husband over to Natchez to the little balloon race thing so I can put my kid on like a little ride and like listen to this band play? And she was like, yeah, I can get my mom to watch my kids for me. And I was like, okay. Well, like right before my kid's dressed, my husband's dressed, I'm dressed, ready to go, she's like, oh, I can't, I have 5 kids, I don't have anybody to watch them. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Well, she lied. The bitch was at fucking Under the Hill Saloon getting shit-faced drunk, which is a bar in Natchez. And I was pissed. So I just was like, fuck this shit. Like, I've been working here for years. I've never called out. I've never asked anybody to cover my shift. I've always covered everybody's shift that needs it covered. Always. And I've done a lot. I've been a loyal ass fucking bartender. Loyal as fuck. Like, I don't even go like to any other bars or anything. Like, you know, loyal as fuck. And I was treated like fucking shit. And I was like, fuck this. I couldn't even get the common decency for just 2 hours. That's it. All I asked for was 2 fucking hours. And like, I covered her shift that night. I covered her shift twice that week. This week. Twice.
Right.
And I don't know, it's fucked up. So I just said fuck it. Fuck it. And didn't go in. I guess you would have to be me to understand like how long I've worked for these people, and how long I've worked for this bar, and what I've done for the bar. I can't tell you. I worked in that bar until I gave birth, like the day before I gave birth to my son. Like, I worked the entire time I was pregnant. I can't tell you how many times the alarm system went off at that fucking bar, and I got up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, pregnant, 9 months pregnant, while the alarm was going off to go make sure that nobody was robbing the fucking bar. I can't tell you how many fucking crazy things that have happened that I had to fix. How many times I've had to get up and go do things for the bar, and run to the store and get things for the bar, do things for the bar, go out of town for the bar. I've done so much shit for that fucking bar for nothing. No extra pay, no nothing. And then, you know, for years I did like the manager shit, but I never took the title as the manager, because the word manager psychologically fucks with some people and makes people think that I have some type of power that I really don't have. So I never really wanted that title. Well, he asked me to take the manager position, and I finally was like, okay, I'll do it. And I worked the manager position, doing the same shit that I always fucking did for years. And he paid me one time extra, like compensated me for all the work that I did. 1 fucking month out of all the years I've worked for him. And I mean, they paid me for like babysitting, for them because they have a kid, and you know, but out of all the years that I've worked for this person in this bar, in this business, I don't think that I was treated the way that I treated him. You know, I felt very easily disposable. That, I mean, I can't even tell you, every fucking meeting we would have, he'd be like, I just find a new bartender. I'll just find a new bartender. Like, okay, well then if I'm not fucking useful to you, then why the fuck do you still have me here, you know? So, but yeah, I fucking quit my job. I'm ranting now, and my viewers count are going low, but I'm about to get off of here because I've been on here for almost an hour now. But I love you guys. Bye. You can say bye, Tonda. Bye. Here. You have to tell like, share, and subscribe. Say it.
Like, share, and subscribe, and spread your dick.
Oh my god. Alright, I love you guys. Bye. You free to open the door? Okay.